develop my own plot and just write it for fun. I had no idea that would get published or anything like that. I thought it's probably when I'm 40 I'll just turn back and see what I wrote when I was a 20-year-old. But one day Hussain sir just told me that about this imprint that he's starting, which is called Blue Salt, and he said that they've tied up with Penguin, so they're kind of looking to encourage new authors and new writers and all that. So he told me that they're looking for a thriller, a genuine espionage thriller, and I thought this is my chance. So I prepared a synopsis. I kind of passed it by him, and first he told me this is not good enough. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll rework it. I asked him, what do I add to it? So he's like, a synopsis is like a seduction, is a seduction to the book. Is that right?
Yeah. You seduce your readers to read the book.
Okay, whatever. I'm not good with such terminology. I saw Imran's first movie after 18. I saw it after 18. Until then, I don't know what you've done. So that happened after like 3-4 drafts of the synopsis. Forwarded it to the head of Penguin at that point, who was Miss Chiki Sarkar, and I met her at the Times Lit Fest, and she said that fine, go ahead and start writing this, and I did that because now suddenly I had motive to write the book. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure I'd have meandered with it halfway through. You don't have that sort of motivation to complete a book unless you kind of dedicate the time to it and that sort of mental bandwidth. But now that Chiki Sarkar had said that, I kind of made time, especially to work on the book, and she told me that she'll take a call on whether she wants to publish it after reading half the manuscript. So now it became a task in the sense that I had to kind of accept the challenge. I had to write the best half a book ever, so that it kind of gets published. It's not the best half a book ever, but so I kind of forwarded it to Chiki ma'am, and she liked it, so that's how I got published. And this, I had started writing when I was 19 at that point, and yeah.
So let me butt in. When the second synopsis went to Chiki, she was not unsure about the first one. So when the second synopsis went to her, she went and discussed it with her sales team, and I can't describe the kind of excitement that I felt in her voice when she called me. Hussain, my sales team is so excited. They are ecstatic about the way the Kabiran's character unfolds in the book. He beats youngsters in a soccer game, and the moment he finishes his game, there's a call from PMO, there's a plane waiting for you, and you're called to Delhi immediately. She says, what kind of writer writes like that? My sales team wants to publish this book. Now, this is the first time she has not liked the synopsis. So I still remember that moment that Chiki has never reacted to this such a way for any book or any synopsis, the way she reacted to his book. So, well.
So, yeah. Also, of course, this book wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for Hussain sir, because he answered my calls as late as 2 a.m. and it was a silly plot point that I wanted to discuss, and he's like, "So jao Bilal." But I said, "No, sir, ye ek baat karni hai." In fact, I remember him telling me that when he WhatsApps me at the night, before sleeping, he reads the messages out loudly so that his wife knows that he's WhatsApping me. So he's helped me a lot. He's put me onto sources. He's helped me by putting me onto the right people to talk to. Some of them aren't here, so. But fact-wise, I'm pretty sorted because of Hussain sir. Otherwise, it would have just been entirely fiction, which it still is, but you needed a realistic backdrop to set the story against. So I think Hussain sir helped me big time with that. And yeah, that's about it.
Proud of you, boy. So if there are any question answers for the author, for Imran.
First question to Bilal.
For me?
To Bilal. I said, to write such a book, you need to read a lot of history, the geopolitics of the whole zone. So how do you go about that? Getting the facts right on the... And history extends to, how nations are formed and so on.
Yeah, especially since you're dealing with an area that's as tumultuous as Balochistan. So obviously there's a plethora of stuff online, but you can't rely on that all the time. And I can't travel to Balochistan because mom calls me 5 times a day if I go to Khar. So yeah, so when Hussein sir put me onto quite a few of his sources too, because you need to know about first-hand experience. Even if it's not in Balochistan, the whereabouts somewhat, you have to get a good idea of the terrain, you have to get a good idea of the political atmosphere there, because India, Balochistan, Pakistan, Afghanistan, they all kind of merge at one point, which is not geographically, I'm saying in terms of politics. There's a lot going on even in India that's indirectly connected to Balochistan. So Hussein sir's sources helped me big time with that. And when I was in US too, in fact, quite by coincidence, I happened to meet my friend who I've known since a good 15 years or something. And his girlfriend was over at his house, and he told me that her dad worked in the CIA for 20 odd years. So I asked him to connect me with him immediately. And that happened rather quickly. So all my basic doubts about terrorism, about Islamic extremism, about jihadism, all of that I kind of got through him by connecting with him, and I got a basic understanding of that. And since it's a fictional book, I needed a backdrop that was true enough. I didn't have to kind of change the names and write the entire story again. So the backdrop is more or less fact. The story is entirely fiction. So I think we are sorted that way.
Bilal,
Yeah.
wanted to ask you when I read the book, I felt I was reading a film script. So did you have, because it's dramatic, you've got the characterization, you've got the plotting. I just thought you had a film in mind when you were writing it. Is that right?
Not at all, actually. See, that's the thing today. A book kind of has to compete with a film in terms of its how it captures you. Because many people today, my age included, around 50% don't read books. And I'm not even exaggerating about this. If I know certain people who just don't read books, they'll say, skip the picture, aa rahi hai, picture dekh lete. But that's not how it works, at least for me. But at the same time, you do have to kind of deal with certain scenes cinematically in order to make it more interesting. And if it happens along the course, then nothing like it. But yeah, it's a thriller. It would be silly not to make it cinematic nowadays. And I'm hoping it'll make for a good movie when that happens. So.
Will it be Imran Khan or Imran Hashmi?
Imran Khan. I don't know. That's up to the makers of the film to decide. I don't have any call in that. So.
Are you recommending?
Definitely, yeah. He'd make an awesome Kabir.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
No, he suits the character of Kabir Anand to the T
I like
actually.
sweetness script, so. Oops.
No kissing scene.
No kissing scene.
Also, the thing is with Kabir as a character, he's not your typical mainstream James Bond or a Bond, because it's very easy to fall into that trap. When you write a character of a spy, he can very well look like a shadow of a Bond, and we've seen that fail, at least in India. I won't name any movie, but that's the thing. So Kabir as a character is very understated. He is not flamboyant. He won't wear a suit. He won't sip on martinis. He won't. But he's still at the same time, he's got that Shakespearean angle to him that kind of gives him the emotional touch, because he's kind of relating real conflict with, let's say, a Macbeth or a Hamlet or whatever. And also at the same time, when Kabir is fighting people, it has to be realistic in the sense that it's a book, it's not a movie, so you do kind of describe a gunfight as realistically as possible, but at the same time make it a little more cinematic. So I think Kabir is a good character, and I hope that there can be many more books with Kabir, or films with Kabir. Let's hope it works out.
Other than your mentor, do you have any author role models?
Author role models.
Yeah.
As in, if I know them personally,
we talk about James Bond, so Ian Fleming. I mean, so
yeah.
have you read a lot?
See, I read a lot of Ian Fleming, and honestly, I think the movies are better than the books for Bond, because he wrote it at a point of time where not everything was exaggerated so that it suits cinematic style, which is tending to happen now. But I do like Daniel Silva, who is one of my favorite authors of this same genre, and Frederick Fawcett. But see, that's the thing, right? It's very easy to fall into that trap. Like it could end up looking like a copy of a Fawcett or a Silva. So I had to consciously make an attempt to keep it as original as possible, so that even if I don't intend it, there are no similarities. So. So yeah, I think Daniel Silva, Frederick Fawcett, Lee Child is a great author too, Jack Reacher. I'm talking about the similar genre. Yeah.
One for you, Ranji.